Hey Griffins, it's Miss Guerra. First off, I want to tell you that I miss you very much and I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to go ahead and start our first reading lesson. The things that you're going to need are your Think Up book, your reading one, a pencil, and a highlighter. If you don't have a highlighter, don't worry. Remember, you can always use your pencil to underline, circle, or box in those keywords. Let's go ahead and get started. Just a reminder, this is what it looks like. The skill that we're going to focus on in this lesson is being able to describe how the author's use of imagery, literal and figurative language, such as simile and metaphor and sound devices, achieves specific purposes. You can go ahead and open up your book to 214. On page 214, you have your reader's tips. Please make sure that you read this page before going on because it gives you all the important vocabulary terms. The terms that I specifically want you to focus on are use of imagery, literal language, figurative language, sound devices, simile, metaphor, and describing. It's basically all the words that are in bold. So before we move on, please read this page. Okay, now that you read that page, we're going to go ahead and get started on reading our story for today. Remember, I still expect you to do R, NAG, RQPC, okay? We're going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and do the first R with you, and then I'm going to expect you to do NAG, RQPC without me. However, I will be reading the questions to you, and I will be emphasizing those keywords for you in these first couple of lessons until we get the hang of things. So first things first, you should of course be writing down RNAG, RQPC. So go ahead and do that with me. And what should we write at the bottom? NAG. And just to refresh our memory, because it has been a week or so, read, narrator, which either should be first person or third person, author's purpose, pied, and then genre. Reread, questions, proof, and check. So I will be doing the first R with you. I want you to go ahead and follow along with me in your book. Morning Glory climbs. Morning Glory once grew flat on the ground. In a nearby tree lived Mother Wren and her son. Little Wren had a broken wing and couldn't fly. So Mother Wren told him all about what she saw in the world when she came flying home at night. She told him about the beautiful morning glory she saw growing along the ground. She told him about morning glory's vibrant violet petals. She told him about morning glory's lovely heart-shaped leaves. She told him every day until little Wren was filled with a desire to see morning glory for himself. How I wish I could fly out of this tree to see beautiful morning glory, little Wren said. Morning glory heard his wish. She pulled herself along the ground as slow as a snail until she was at the foot of little Wren's tree. Morning glory could not get any farther, for she did not know how to climb. At last, her will to grant little Wren's desire was so strong that she caught hold of the bark of the tree and pulled herself up. Little by little, before she knew it, she was climbing. Morning Glory climbed right up to little Wren's nest and put her face over the edge. And that is how Morning Glory came to climb. Okay, so I just completed that first R with you, so go ahead and check that off. I want you to complete narrator, author's purpose, and genre, and go ahead and reread. Pause the video while you do those things. Okay, now that you've completed NAG and reread the story, I want you to go ahead and turn the page to 216 and let's take a look at the 3 questions. I'm going to go ahead and read the questions and answer choices for you, and then we're going to highlight some keywords, and then I want you to answer the 3 questions on your own. Okay, let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says, read these sentences from paragraph 2. She told him about morning glory's vibrant violet petals. She told him about morning glory's lovely heart-shaped leaves. Why does the author use imagery in these sentences? Key word, imagery. I want you to pause right now, and I want you to go back to your reader's tips, and I want you to find imagery. Where were they talking about imagery? So if you went back and reread your tips, it states, imagery helps the readers create mental images or sensory impressions in your mind. We talk about this a lot in class. Remember, it's not just poetry that has imagery. So, again, number 1 is asking us, why does the author use imagery in these sentences from paragraph 2? Is it A, to explain why Little Wren wants to see morning glory? B, to provide details about Little Wren's nest? C, to describe the features that make morning glory attractive? D, to show how morning glory enjoys her beauty? Right now, I want you to take this time to highlight key words in your answer choices. Now that you've identified the key words, I want you to use our strategies that we've focused on. I want you to eliminate the 2 silly ones, and then if there is a distractor, label that, and then go ahead and get your correct answer. A reminder as well, you should be going back to the story and finding your proof, highlighting your proof in the story, and labeling it number 1. And then also telling me what paragraph. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 is asking, why does the author use rhyme in paragraph 3? Keyword, rhyme. And where do I have to go back and reread? Paragraph 3. Now, it's very important for you to read this paragraph out loud so that you're able to hear the impact of the rhyme that the author is using. Now that you reread that paragraph aloud and you were able to hear how that rhyming sound, let's take a look at your answer choices. So again, the question asks, why does the author use rhyme in paragraph 3? F, to make Little Wren's words interesting. G, to show that Little Wren has courage. H, to add rhythm to Little Wren's dialogue. J, to allow Little Wren to express a secret desire. Now these answer choices, have a lot of vocabulary. You have interesting, you have courage, you have dialogue, you have desire. So when we get to those types of words, what do? Dictionary. I know a lot of you may not have a dictionary at home, but you can definitely look these words up. So if you don't know what one of these words means, remember you have to know the definition in order to either say yes, this is my answer, or no, it's not. So the first step I would do is make sure that I know those words before eliminating any answer choices. Once you've looked up those words, go ahead and do the whole process of getting your correct answer, and then we're going to move on to number 3. Okay, number 3, in paragraph 4, so again, they're telling us where I need to go reread paragraph 4. The author uses a simile to help the reader understand. So you need to know 1, what a simile is, and 2, why would the author add that? What is it doing for us as a reader? So just a reminder, a simile is when you're comparing 2 things, saying one thing is like another, right? So the example that we always use in class is Mr. Villegas is as tall as a tree, right? We're comparing Mr. Villegas' height to the height of a tree. Or Mr. Villegas is like a tree. Okay, so you can use the word like or as, but it needs to be comparing 2 things. So now I want you to go back to your story and I want you to reread paragraph 4. As you're rereading paragraph 4, I need you to highlight the simile that is in that paragraph. Go ahead and do that right now. Okay, now that you've identified your simile, I want you to think about why the author would include it. How does it help us as a reader? Here are your answer choices. A, it helps the reader understand the effort that morning glory is making to move. B, that morning glory looks like a snail. C, the direction in which morning glory is moving. Or D, that morning glory is happy. Remember to highlight your keywords in your answer choices and go through the process of eliminating answer choices to get your correct answer. And also do not forget to write down your proof. Okay, now that you've completed that, you are going to check off nag RQP. We forgot to do that. Last one is check. So the last thing I want you to do is go back and make sure that you've answered all the questions. Make sure that your answer choices match and make sense. And then you are done. Now, the last thing I need from you is I need you to take a picture of your answer choices on page 216, and I need you to text it to me at the number stated, 937-601-3088, or your parents can send me a picture on the Remind Me app, whichever works, but I do need to see your answer choices. This concludes our lesson for today. I miss you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you all. Have a good day.